Okay, I will not explain every view what I have in the show file because this is already on my YouTube channel. And at first, the first step what we have to do is to patch all the fixtures. Just a little side note, because I prepared a little bit for the show file. It is exactly the same show file what is available at Add-on Desk. The only thing what I changed so far was I created already some preset groups with some fixtures we are using in this file. I only prepared this in advance that we can do it a little bit faster. One fixture which will be missing here in this part. I have to read sometimes all this information what was coming here in the chat. Okay, one fixture is missing here. This we will create together later, so that you can see what all this process is done with the other preset fixtures. For me, a preset fixture is a fixture I used in any show before, and it will keep all the global parameters in a file. And one other step, if you have any questions, if I'm too fast, if you don't understand something, just interrupt me and please ask a question. So this is why we are doing this. Okay, you see all my groups are empty, and we start then to import the MVR and put them in the correct groups. So you can see I have some preset fixtures here, and these are only the fixtures which I made the presets ready so far. So just import the MVR. Usually the MVR which I create contains all the GDTF fixtures, so I don't have to take care to find the right fixtures. And if you can see, there is no overlapping, so all the fixtures are unique. I can import them. It will take some seconds. And then I have all the fixtures here, including its positions where they are placed in this file. I will then go and put the fixtures all in the groups which I need. So in this case, in this file, I use the beam groups, the two beam groups, one spot group, one wash group, the LED, pixel bar groups, whatever. I will put now the first fixtures in the first group. It's done with cut, but I think I don't have to explain how to work in a show file and how to do it. So I will just do it quick without explaining what exactly I'm doing. But I want to do this really step by step so everybody could follow it, what I'm doing. It's important to know that if you use fixtures with moving function like pan and tilt, all the groupings what I have only works with the beam group, the spot group, and the two wash groups. So if you have, for example, JDC1 or Color Strike M, if you want to use this moving function, you need to put them in one of these groups or go and program a moving path your own way. So it's a little bit tricky in this file. Wash 2. In this case, I use the wash 2 files for my commit because the commits also have a moving part, but I will take only 33 of them because the others I use later for the ambience lighting. So I'll put them directly in the folder ambience lighting, so everything is fine for me. The Astera Titan tubes in this file are only used for stage lighting, so you don't have to care about them in any case. So I just put them, and during the show I will not use them here at all. Okay, so patch is nearly done. Now I have to exchange some fixture types because I already made some preset fixtures so that I don't have to create them again. So I will just change them. And it's 12 and 43 channel mode. Commit is fine. And I should also, this is not fine. It should be 10 or 12, whatever. And which mode was it? Think it is mode 5. Eleven, perfect. 9, perfect. 8 and 13. Okay, so everything is patched. And now I will just do one thing because I didn't work so far in this file with the Poseidon Beam Ultra. So I will create a preset fixture for me. I just take one of these fixtures. It's a CLF lighting Poseidon Beam Ultra. Give it a unique ID. I can leave it like it is. And you can give whatever address you want. So it's patched. I will just make sure it's not visible in 3D and not selectable in 3D. Wait a second. Did I uncheck this? Yeah, I unchecked this. So the patch is done for this file. I will just store my preset fixture here, which I forgot which ID I gave it. 9451. And I will store it to keep all my global datas. So, first step is done. And if I go and check my fixtures, you can see they are working. This is fine. And now the first step is I'm working with the preset. So I check if all the fixtures use their presets. You see still no preset is here. And to make it a little bit more quick, I will just change the screen a little bit. And I go and execute one of the macros, which is called patch group creator. And this is only creating this patch groups based on the patch. So if I change, if I use the beam 1, it's only the beam 1 groups, beam 2 are only the beam 2 groups, and so on and so on. So I can check if everything is working correct as it should be. They are empty, these 2 groups. These are, yeah, I think there is a, it should be, yeah, it's all there. And Ambience 1 as well. And here I have nothing inside, so I can just override them again to get them empty. Because I don't need the grouping fixture. So, okay, this is more easy, and I would like to create all the presets at first. So I take my beams, and I don't highlight them at the moment because highlight might have some issues. If some of the presets I want to store are in highlight mode, so if you're not sure if the fixture is programmed correct, just use the dimmer. And the first thing is I will do all my colors. And so I store at first a release. The release of all these groups is really important for the file because you often have a release in all these smash functions, for example. And the color wheel will be stored extra as release. So when I go and take an all release. Next step would be just to use the color. So everything should be in white. So I store my white preset. And now you can see this is why I did it in advance with all the other fixtures, that I don't have to do all the steps while we are sitting here and discussing all this. And yellow is next. Now you don't see it. I have to do this. Fern green. This is just a rough preset creation. It's not a really correct one. On stage, I would really check if the colors are correct and if all the presets match to each other. So I just do it quick and dirty. You can also go a different way and just use the book. I have a custom book which has also the full CTO and full CTB, and it will create it a little bit quick and dirty. It could be an automatic process, but I refuse to do it automatically because then if a fixture file is not built correct, and you might get as well problems. I don't fill this front light colors because with the beams I will not do a front light, so I don't have to take care that this is a correct color space. Okay, so the colors is done. Next thing what I would have to do is go to the gobo sections, create gobo rotation on anime rotations if there is something. But here in this case, this fixture only has a gobo wheel and I will just store a gobo release. Gobos, prisms, zoom, and so on will be stored in the beam look, but we will come to this a little bit later because the Chauvet Storm 1 flex, they have a zoom, and so I can show it how I work in this case. Next, let's go to the beam. I go here and do the same with the shutter. I do a release. And then let's just go quick and do, is it a slow? Or is this one fast? No, this was slow. It might not be shown correct in Depends because Depends is on another machine in my network, so the connection might show it a little bit wrong. Normally, all these preset fixtures I did in advance, so in my normal files, there's a huge bunch of presets I already predefined. This also can be prepared beforehand of the show, so you are faster than on site. But I just want to show you how it's working and what the use of my preset fixtures is. So shutter is done. Now I have to go to do it with the frost, store a release. Then store no frost option. And store frost full, and due to I use frost really seldom, I store in mid, max, and minimum the same. I go as next to store a release of the prism. And here I need to make sure I have two prism wheels, so I have to store two releases of both. And then store as well a release for the rotation or position channels. And then I can go and store and here you can see one of the issues if a fixture file is not built correct, and you get some troubles that you have no stop, for example, in this file. But I know that there is a stop in this fixture. Slow can be 55 in one direction, and then the advantage, by the way, of this CLF fixtures, they are really, really fast with inserting a prism and removing a prism. So it's really a big fun to play with them in the show and insert prism and take it out again. Works really like a charm. Let's start with a fast first. And now you understand why I did it with all the other fixtures beforehand, that nobody has to wait so long until I did all the presets. So, and here is one thing with the CLF fixtures. They have prism swing. I will show this function later, but I will not store it. It would take a longer time again. So, and the focus, I can store only the release because the fixture don't have a zoom, which is really, really sad. And as last, in the control channel, I store a lamp on command and a lamp off command, that I keep it in my preset fixtures. I would do this normally in blind, but due to I have now deep-ins, I don't have to care about if everything is correct here. So, okay, so this is finished. The next step, what I'm doing is I have to fill my groups. So, and I know I have only one instance. Now I can switch on highlight to see which fixtures I take. And in this case, I just take linear selection, so I can go, I have to see all my screens here on the computer. I can just go next and see that it is a linear selection, so everything is working fine. I store the same in the dimmer, the color, and the master instance groups. And the all instance are also the same because it's just one instance in this fixture. Same is with the fixtures on the floor. and as well the fixtures on the tower. I try to keep a symmetrical order in these groups as well, because you have the chance, and I'm on the wrong page. I should take the light. Hold on, and the wing setup need to be done. So, and yeah, 1 second. Tick, 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 tick. Wing. It should be wing 2, I think, in this case. That you can see it well here. Okay. I hope it's working. Yeah, it's working. I only changed the behavior of the executor with this command. And if someone is interested, if you execute this macro, you will get an error message because you don't have these modules all attached. I'm just working in an on-PC session. Wing ID 1 for a command wing is the command wing. If you have a console, it is, just let me think, it is the master module with the encoders on top. And 2 is another master module, and 3 is the first wing. And if you are on a full size, 4 is the inner wing. So it is 16 executor 16 to 30. And this module 3 is executor 1 to 15, but it's only on the consoles. In an on PC, it is just module 1. This is what I did so that I can shift all this a little bit around. And here you see another issue. You see that the speeds are multiplied by 2 at the moment. There is a macro in a start which should normally reset this Speedmasters, but it doesn't work correct. Why? I have no idea. Maybe I will put it later in an agenda. You can just easily do it by using this Speedmaster reset, and then you see you go back to default speed. Okay, so let's take the wash groups. It's 401 to 412. And here we have an issue in the on PC. You see that it's strobing. In Depends, it's not strobing. It is a custom fixture I used in this show. It's working fine. It's nearly similar like Roby LED Beam 150, but not completely similar in the DMX sheet. And as well, let's go to the commit to the first one, which I used in the show. And they have a tilt, so it's a nice fixture to work with. And here you see that we have to invert them later, that they match to our Depends file. They also have only one instance, so it doesn't matter. And let's do the same for the ambience lighting. And we store them here. What I didn't store so far are the Yolt bars, which is a strobe. Here I will show the difference, what we are using and why we are using master instances and color and dimmer instances. I would like to store here only the outer section. Maybe I can show it in depends a little bit better with this fixture. Where is my depends window? Here. Let's go to one of these fixtures here. So you see you have outer lines and an inner line. And if I take all these fixtures up to 7.1, and as you can see, we can see nothing. So, okay. So 801 through 857.2. Ah, 0.1. So we have this inner line. And this is the strobe line, and I want to draw the strobe line individual. The fixture has, I will just show it on one fixture. It has two instances. It's the first four are this beam, which is the strobe function, and then you have 8 plates. So I don't know which fixture I have now. So I have to take one of all this. So you see, so there are several instances of this fixtures. And if I take this fixture and only would store the top instance, which is for me a default dimmer, which is open because I want to work with this instance dimmers like this here. So if I open them, the fixture should work. So what is my issue now here? Good to check. Point 2, is this open? This is correct. And this is also open. Oh, okay. And this is closed. Okay. So I need to check the fixture if it's correct to my needs, of course. I think I took the wrong fixture here for my show. No, this is the right one. Okay. I will just check if I have all the correct defaults in. Plate dimmer 255, correct. Strobe 255, this is also correct. Channel mode default 0, this is correct. There is no attribute inside. Okay, no, it should normally work. Good question why it's not working at the moment. Okay, doesn't matter. So I will take all my fixtures with the strobe instance, only the strobe instance of all fixtures, and I store them as strobe dimmer because I want them just to do the dimmer later. But there really seems to be an issue with the master dimmer. Or is it because I have highlight on? I think it's because of I have highlight on. No, it's not because it's highlight on. Okay, and let's store it as default. Eight oh one through 57.1.1.4 should be the strobe dimmer. Yeah, this is correct now. Okay. So, point 1 is the master instance, and the master instance I will store in the master instance. And here I can go down to get the other instances and store them as dimmer. And I could store them as well as color, but this is just a white bar, so I can do or can leave it. And all these instances together. And now I think I see the mistake what I have had before with this fixture in depends. I don't know if Marvin is here in this. Let me check if he's here. No, Marvin is not here. I would speak with depends. This what that they are strobing now is an issue in depends. I have had this issue last time with this fixture file here, but in real time, I can say it's working. So then it will do the same with all the color instances. Instance 2 is for the color. It's a master instance. The master instance will control, for example, the strobe speed, strobe rate, and whatever. If I have strobe or full open, and then I can go, because I'm lazy, I can go down and store it as dimmer and color and as all instance of this fixture. So, and if I see the all instance of this fixture, okay, so I won't have stored the top instance because I don't need it in to control it, because if you work with a master dimmer on this, it will also show the strobe instance, which I don't like to see, of course. And so I do the same here with the strobe, master, and the other instance, and store it as all instance. So now, next step is I would go and why is because remove default. That's 857, whatever it is now. I'm used to something else. Okay. Where is my remove default? So, okay. This blinking makes me nervous. So, it really makes me nervous, but I don't care now. The next thing what I'm doing is I do a symmetrical group, and here in this case, I just take all the fixtures I need. I can do it by using all these groups here. Then I have a nice sign here. I just click it, and as you can see, it is now in the selection grid. And so this I can store as symmetrical group. And due to I took only the dimmer, I can store it as dimmer. And now I know that my dimmer and colors are the same for all these groups. I can store them here as well. Next thing, I do the same with the master instances. And as you can see in the selection grid, all my master instances are only visible in this line. But I wonder where this is coming from. Let me check what it is. I think I already found the mistake why they are strobing. No, I think I have had something similar in before. So, and I would have to fill all the other groups. You can fill them however you like. I will not do it. The reason why I use this symmetrical group is if I just do okay, this really piss me at the moment. So I will just do it quick and dirty. Use it as toggle that I can toggle it on and off. I don't need this now. So, okay. Hey, I told you you should have a dimmer off. Right. Ah, interesting. It doesn't store this. No, okay. And we can delete it again. Okay, let's just do a little bit playing around with it at 0. Next step is at 100. And just to show why it's such a nice thing to play with. So you see, you can just do some nice moves, and all my sequences rely on it because I add or divide all these fixtures in there. We will see it later when we are working in the show file. Okay, here I would have to do all the rest. Just let me go quickly and take the front light and store it as DJ booth. So, and I'm really upset now because of this. So I will just exchange it and do something dirty that I don't have to use all this. Okay. Let's see if it's working. Fine if I repatch it. Good. Problem solved. Back to the groups. So this is normally everything what you have to make sure on the grouping side, on the main groups. Then we have to go to the split groups. And here it is also, again, a lot of work, but I also will do just a quick and dirty thing. I will select the left side. I made, again, a mistake because I tried to use everything. So I want only the dimmer instances, store them as selection, and now I can go and select the left half. I don't make sure that it is now really too correct, and dimmer and colors are the same, and I do the same for the left side, the right side, sorry. So I start in the right side. Go to world is full and take all the master instances. Do it again, left side. And right side. And now these groups should contain only the correct fixtures, only the master instances. Looks bad because the strobes are missing. Oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? Yeah, my fault. This groups is not important if they are in a correct symmetrical order because they're only used for add or subtract any of this fixture, so they don't have to be in any order. I have to store the jolt bus again. 857.1, which was the strobe instance, the master. As soon as I store them as groups, they are strobing. Oh, maybe there is a sequence active. Ah, there was a sequence active. That was a problem. My bad. I'm sorry. It was my mistake. Building groups take the most time on any show, so you will need to force yourself to spend hours and hours on building groups. If you want to do it quick and dirty, you can do it a little bit faster. So, but now I have to build for sure the symmetrical groups again because I changed the behavior. So I will take the dimmer groups now, or just make sure that this time it is correct. Again, no color instances. Why? To work with multi-instance fixtures is really, really sometimes a pain in the ass, I can tell you. Here they are working. There they are. Whatever. Let's store them. Oh, now it looks different. Okay. Maybe I was just a little bit too quick. Okay. And I can show you maybe quick what I do with the parallel groups. So I only need to do it one by one. So this is how my parallel groups looks like. So just that you can see how I'm working with it. I will leave now one row empty, and why I do it, I will show you when I'm going and makes this group correct. Half is 10, and you have a really perfect help line with the center line, which helps you to put fixtures in a center. And where is there is a center line, so I will put this all in the center now. So but the center line will shift all the time if you move some fixtures, what we anyway have to do, because I want that, I hope it's correct. The center line have to be like this because I have an odd number of fixtures. Okay, here the issue is I have several instances, so I know how I should place them. You have a lot of work to do everything correct, so I'm sorry that I bother you to wait now until I build all the groups correct. And as I said, this process take a lot of time, and I can just put them below that they are corresponding to the right fixtures all the time. You only have to make sure that you don't double them, otherwise it will get a little bit dirty later during the show. In the meantime, while I'm doing this, I can tell you that version 2.4 will be published in a while. I don't think it will be in March. I think it will be more like in April. And the show file, for everybody who purchased the show file, this show file is working in version 2.4. I have had the chance to test it already, and yeah, it looks really nice. And be really happy if this version will come out. There are several bug fixes in, and some functionalities in this version, especially with phasers, makes it really much fun to work with, especially if you are used in the workflow in Grandma 2. This file will bring several functions back what you have had, like forms, for example. So wait for it and be happy to use it then. It is really much fun to use the new version. Are there any questions so far, maybe, which I can answer? You can maybe say I could use the grid command for it, but yes, grid command would be nice. But when you see the fixtures, how they are hanging in real life, they are not linear like I just select them here because they're upside down. So it would not be nice to use the grid command. Otherwise, I could use grid store. But it will be a global setting of the fixture selection. And as you already see that the center line did already move to another side. But now I have to make sure which one was the center of this fixtures. Anyway, 51 to the end is going somewhere else because it was not the center. Uh, 51. 51 is here. Okay. I can really tell it makes more fun to do all this on a console instead of doing it here. Oh yeah, okay. I was just wondering why it looks so different. So now we can somehow move the center line a little bit. So be from the feeling, yeah, correct. No, like this and another 4. Perfect, we are nearly finished. But this is not the way I like. So this would how a parallel group look for me. I will not do the master instance because the master instance is only used for strobe functions, for example, but I don't want to do it correct now. Okay, now I go back to the split groups. We have the dimmer. Let's check if everything is correct. No, of course not. So I think this is an issue. Okay, we do it a little bit different. Normally, I anyway go and select my beams. Oh, let's do it directly correct like it should be. So we store the left group. They are correct, and so I don't have to do this, but I will go over and do the other functionality. I don't have it in this show file, so where was it here in this version? Was it in the matrix already selected? No. My new file version is a little bit different now, so I just do it the way which is also possible. Tricks editor. Okay. I don't need shuffle and layers. I don't need so. Let's do like this, odd and even, and this together with wings. I store it here and here. And master instances are also the same. And these. And then a group of 3. I'll just speed up the process a little bit. And group of 4. And if you want a special kind of selection, you can use the area blocks, outer or up and down. I will not use them now because it take a little bit more time. And now let's take the next group. As one group of 2 with wings. So blah, blah, blah. It's all quick. And it should be there. So correct. Where is my touch screen? Well, really, to do this work on a computer is like a nightmare with clicking all around. Someone might ask why I don't use a macro to do it this way, because you can do it easily with a macro, but I want to check if my selection is really fine. This is why I really do it hand by hand, and I could shift any kind of fixtures then. Makes it much more simple. Uh, so, and this as last. I will not do this process now with all the other moving lights. It is not important for everything. I can show the best all with this kind of group. So, and it get a little bit more complicated if you are using multi-instance fixtures, but I will show it to you as well. With multi-instance fixtures, like with the pixel bars, you could see it best in the programmer. If I go here and take, for example, with a group of 4, you have now beam 1 and beam 5, which are parallel to each other. So this would be nice. But if you have a group of 3, it looks more like it is shuffled around, and this is not what you want. So I would, in this case, really go and take one of the complete fixture just for this group. So here it is sometimes perfect if you work with the patch groups. The patch groups has a top instance, and if you then select one of the fixtures, you see that you take the complete fixture, which is better in this case sometimes. But you have to find your own workflow, how you want to deal, or do you want to have all this flashing in this fixture? So this is why I will not use it now with the multi-instance fixtures to speed up a little bit. But anyway, the most interesting part will later be that I show it with with the moving lights, which are used in the show. So, and this is mainly what you have to do in the show file to make it work. Of course, we have to store some positions. So, but mainly it's done. Now we can, let's say we finished all the groups, what we needed. We can go to the pool and create all groups. The all groups are stored in this invisible group part. They are here separated by moving light dimmer, external dimmer, and all show fixtures. Moving lights are all fixtures which are in this group beam 2, spot, wash 1, and wash 2. And the other LED 1, LED 2, pixel bars, ambience 1 and ambience 2 are all external. And all show fixtures are also strobe and dimming fixtures. These groups I used to create some special all groupings. As you saw, there are some error messages in background. It is because, for example, I don't have this front light left, right, and some fixtures here, like for example, Ambience 2 is not filled, so it will cause, of course, an error message because this group is not used. So later I will have to create worlds. There will come again some error messages during the process of setting up the file. It is because some of the split groups are not filled correct. Flyout creator we will use later, but now already, because we finished all the presets here for the colors, we can use the color FX creator. And as well, there are error messages, which is not important because the fixtures, for example, don't have an ultraviolet color, or sometimes maybe, no, there's no fixture with amber, for example. So the error messages came out because if you call a cold white, warm white, amber, ultraviolet, and cyan. And create reverse rotation presets. This will create this, where does I start the rotation? No, I think it's been look. I really have no idea where it will start now complete, but it will start a gobo rotation that, or a prism rotation, that they are rotate, the left half rotate clockwise and the right half anti-clockwise. So this is why I use this to make it more easy and finished. This dimmer FX phaser creator is interacting with the dimmer FX phaser creator autostart. If you would execute this macro, it will take around 5 or 6 minutes to execute the whole. What it is doing, it is going in the modified phaser part. You have a part called dimmer FX prepare. It is just going, I open the same window here and go to the dimmer FX section. It is just going to copy this to here and exchange the name. It will exchange the name M1 with dim1fx, and for the other line with dim2fx. So it's similar, just copy one preset to another preset, but exchange in this preset the section. So, and if you see in the prepare part, you have a section inside, which is the first symmetrical group, while this presets contain the group which is used here in this dimmer parts, for example. So it's just a simple copy of presets. And if you want to modify presets, you can go here and store here a new preset, but it should be also a preset built out of recipes. The main parts of this presets are coming from a template phaser pool. So you have here in the template phaser, you have this template phaser pool, which I recommend to use. And again, a short view now to 2.4. It is working with the phaser what you built in shows or versions before. But in the new 2.4, you will have so-called shapes, and the shapes are like a form. And you can create really universal phaser by using this shape. And you can use, for example, a sine wave in one preset. If you want for color, for dimmer, for whatever, you can use the same shape and the same preset for everything. And you can exchange just the selection. And it's working like you want. You change the selection and you change the attributes. You can even combine several attributes. You can even define a shape together with an attribute. So you can say this shape should be only for dimmer, or this shape should only be for colors. It is an additional process, and it will bring really, really interesting looks later. And another thing I can tell you, you will have in the next version an auto width and an auto measure. So it doesn't matter if the phaser then will have 5 fixtures in or 6 fixtures in. It will, if you have auto measure active, it will make every step by the beat you want. This is really, really an advantage. So, but this is how the phasers are created, and this is how what this macro is doing. It is just going to copy here in this macro. I only set some variables. And one thing you should note when you change something here in this selection, if you store here another preset, which you want to be later in your sequences, you have to go here and change this delete process. It will autocopy everything, but it is now going to delete everything after Q107 to 199. And okay, the one line is, we can take the one line. It's okay. So the one line is it's Q 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. So from here on, it will be deleted. The next one would be Q 210. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The rest afterwards would be deleted. So if you want that also the other will be executed here, you have to change the labeling, the queue number. So you can see it here that the queues, it will stop after 109. I think I didn't execute this macro for a long time, so I mostly don't change something in this phasers. So this is what you should remember when you add some new phaser, that you have to correct this here. Let me see. There are some handles in. Otherwise, let me guess. I think I will export the new macro I created in my version, and I will send you this. I will put this macro later in the link I sent you for this tutorial. Then it is more easy to exchange this because you have only one position in the beginning of the file. You can just change how many effects you have. So I would not execute this. The other macros, what you are here, cook preset and sequences, you could execute. Yeah, it's override. It will sometimes ask. It's not for everything, but for some things it asks if you want to merge or override. You can override. It's fine. You can execute this burst creator. You don't have to, but you can. And now the show file is show ready. So you could go to show, and let's say you have the dimmer, you select a symmetrical group. Let's take the dimmer front group and let's activate. I will only use now. Oh, let's use them all. So let's say I want only the beams, and let's take what we can take. Let's take this one, the swing, and here we go. Not why we not going. Ah, we have to put the dimmer master up. So, and as you see, it's working. So you can anyway change here to another, for example, a wave, so which look a little bit different. So you have several kind of effects. You have even fast effects like kind of bumps, whatever. And you have this red cues here. Let's take this one. It's just doing a bump, nothing more, nothing less. This will come to a different look if you go here and change the settings. So then you see it's working. And let's do it a little bit quicker. So now it's working like it should work. And the interesting part for sure is if you go and activate the fixtures on the floor, they're also working in the same way. And where can we see it at best? Let's do this as well. Oh no, I didn't put them in this group. This is working. And the washes should also work. Yeah, whatever. So, okay. And we can go to top that we see everything again. Pop. Okay. So you can create individual groups, take them out, and it's working. Now we have to build some positions. Let's also do it quick and dirty. Of course, we could go and store an offset. Oh, this is a nice view. In real life, I mean, here I can take them down, but as you see, they are sometimes behind the decoration, so you can't go too deep down. So this is my down position, and this is my up position. Okay. Let's just do a fan. Really nice. And the same, we go down and do a fan. Fantastic. Okay. So you have here in the position view, you could take the direct position. The fixtures are moving to this position directly. Or you can choose an A-B version. Let's take this too. And then you have a fader for this, which is a position fade. And you can fade between these positions. And you still can override this A-B if you go there. And you can do this, of course, with a timing. So if you want to change the position in a timing, it's going slower or it's going faster, whatever you want. Let's do it with 0. And let's do it with a delay time. So you can change the position with a delay as well. You have several kind of options to do it however you want. There seems to be one issue with this delay if you use a spreaded delay. I don't know why there is a problem. I only have had it with this fixture type. I don't know why, but yeah. And then you have position FX. You have 3 position FX faders. You also take a symmetrical group, take the fixture you want, and you can go and start a circle. And you can modify the circle with wings and face, and it's all going on the fly. And it is all based on this kind of symmetrical groups. I usually go and take the parallel group for fixtures. But before I show you more how this is working, let's take some other fixtures and put them in a position. Store a down and store an up position, do a fan. Super. I don't know if it's looking good now or not. I don't care. So I take them here as well, fade them out, and put them as well in this moving position group. And as you see, they are moving. And let's go to the symmetrical. There is no really big difference at the moment with this because they're equal to each other. Well, does it make... Yeah, let's say this stage is not the right one to show the difference of parallel or snake or whatever you use. I could take group of 2, then it looks similar. You have below some different kind of circle FX or tilt or pan FX effects. They are based on on this preset, so you can modify the presets are all the same to this upper presets, but here you could define, for example, directly a fix matrix. So if you all time want that you have phase of 0 through phase 60 with a group of 2, you could store it directly in here, and circle fx1 would be then group of 2 with phase 0 through 360. Okay, so one thing we didn't speak about is the beam look. We didn't speak about now using, let's stop this again. We need to speak about some presets for the beams, for the beam looks. It is really important that you have all time the right focus on different settings. Here we have only just the beam, so let's might be better to see if we take if we take the spots. Okay, do some positions with the spots as well. Are they not moving now? What's the problem? Oh, they are moving. Control. This is this stupid fixture. Okay. Hold on, I will just change it. This fixture has position speed in the control channel, and I want to change it to 255. Okay, so, and it should move quick. The default in this preset is wrong. Super. Okay. Yep. So let's go to the beam looks. We should take this position. So, okay, beam looks. The fixture has a zoom, and this zoom also needs to be in a focus. So let's do the narrow beam, and let's check if the focus is correct. So we would adjust the focus of this fixture, like let's say this one is correct, so we store it here. And due to its, okay, I remove it again, because what is all included in the beam look? In the beam look, it's included that you have the gobo, the animation wheel, the prism, the iris, the zoom, and the focus. So, and I need to store this for every kind of fixture. So let's go and say, I take all my fixtures and store a release of all my needed, what I need here. So don't store any kind of rotation in it. That might be a problem later if you have a release of a rotation, then the beam look wouldn't work correct. So, okay, this is stored correct. So now let's go and say we take these fixtures with a zoom. The zoom should be narrow. We put the correct focus for this. I think it could be nice, so we store it here. And due to we started from the release, we have also the gobo stored in, because if I would store a gobo, I choose the gobo, let's say, this gobo looks really nice, but it look with this zoom information, of course, not correct. So I go and take a bigger zoom size. And here you can see that the focus is not correct. So I would have to adjust the focus that it is correct. And I can store this gobo directly with its focus and zoom information here. And I will go now and show you what the beam looks look like. They are not here yet. Which one I will have to store my beam looks here. Master. So. I have stored my free beam looks. Give it a correct handle because it should be toggle all the way. that I can toggle a beam look on and off. And what does a beam look do? I will activate beam look 1. And at the moment, nothing happened because beam look 1 has nothing inside. The prisms I didn't store it. So I take the zoom of 0, and as you can see, we see nothing. Why we see nothing? Because I forgot to cook. So, but now it should work. I should take, I'm sorry, my fault. So it is working. And now let's say I take in beam look 2 my first gobo. And if I activate beam look 2, I have my gobo with its preset. So you see, I can toggle between both of them. Okay. This is what the beam looks are doing. So, and I should fill, of course, everything. So let's just stay with them. And the zoom should be whatever I want a second zoom position. I have to change the focus again, that it's correct. It's now, of course, you can't see it really good if it's working correct. So let's just think the focus would be correct. We just store them. And definitely there it's not correct. Super. And yeah, this is a good starting point to do it. And now let's do it with this fixtures with a prism. I want to see them. Oops. And I want my prism wheel 1. And let's say it takes this prism. Oh. And because I can't see something, I need to use a beam reducer and then go and change the focus. Let's take a different position that it's better to see. No, not really. Okay. Do we have another beam reducer here? It's a small one. Yeah, this could be nice. Okay. We store this here for. I store it now for all 3 beam looks, but I would go, of course, in real life to a different thing. So, and if I activate my beam looks again, take beam look 1, I can use my prism, and prism is in. And for the other fixtures as well, prism is in. And I could use my prism rotation. And as you see, they are rotating. I can do it even faster. That is better to see. And if I want to jump quick between, So, and if I want to jump quick between different, what we have, zoom 0 as default, then it should be off. But here you can see you can toggle it on and off. I didn't store something in here, that's why it's not working. But we can just store it. Release, we store in as merge, and it should work. No, then I have to store something else. Let's say we want gobo open, and of course, no Prism. Yeah, I think this was the correct way to do it. So, merge, yeah. And now it should work. Yeah, now it's working. Sad that the Prism change is not that quick in Depends than it is in real life. This is how the beam looks are working. You have to store, of course, everything if you want to use everything. So you as well have a gobo check. And also, the issue that you can't read the text here correct is solved in version 2.4. All the text, what you see here is a custom text in the layout view. And it is a bug in 2.3 that the custom text is only in one line and has no line feed anymore. This will be solved. Yeah, so now you are show ready or nearly show ready with this file. You can even go and take the color picker or my own color picker. It's working the same way like others. So you see the colors are working. And as I told you in advance, I am using mostly the color picker called Live Grid. We can just go and set it up that you can see how it's working. Beforehand, I have to mark the preset numbers because I like to forget it all the time. Okay, this I can leave open for it. Okay. Just start this plugin, create an instance. Like I want to use a color and I take preset for 19 through. So and now the groups are 419 through 4023, 4026, and 4027. Okay, and the symmetrical group should be 4127. And here I made a mistake because I want my color groups for sure. 37 to 41 and 44, 45. So I can create it. takes sometimes a little bit, and it's finished. And if I go here and I have to change to the live grid, yes, I know. I will store it here, and I will store it here. And then I can change for the beams in the top to red. And I want no fade time, but I want a delay. It's working. And if I like this kind of look, I can store it here. And then I go and say, okay, I have blue there, and I want the beams on the floor having in two colors. Oops. So, and let's say red and green and yellow. Boom. Boom, it's not working. Why it's not working? Oh, I encountered a bug in this. Oh, now it's working. Why? I have no idea. Yeah. It is, for me, it is one of the best plugins you could use, and I really would recommend, if someone is interested, support it. It's really a great one, especially the function that you can store presets here and just call this presets. And it cannot only use colors, it can also, you can also create uh, different kind of instances, like for positions you could create it. So it's really a great one. You can customize it. So if someone is interested, you can find this plugin at add-on desk or on the website MA Free Pro Plugins, I think. But you can use the Showfile also without this plugin. Just use the ordinary color picker. It also has a delay function built in, so you could also do a delay. Doesn't matter. It's working the same way. You can also do fade times if you don't want a color delay. So also fade. Now I have to think if I forget something, what is really necessary to make this show file working. Let's go and try if the color FX is working, because I executed already. So let's take red and blue. Right, correct. Here is a bug, but this bug is only in this view. I noticed it yesterday evening because I use this page so seldom. If you use it here and say you want red, green, and blue, for example, take a free step and activate. It's working like it should work. You can go here and say a phase of 0 through 360, and you have a 0 through 360. But really, there seems to be an issue. Good that we tested. I found an issue which I hopefully can correct really quick. Does it work correct? Red, green, pink. This is working, but here you see it's not working correct. Just let's try this again. Okay, yeah, I see the mistake. Ah, yeah, correct. At preset 401. Seems that I have to send this again now, but see another thing. Nope. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, now it's working again. Okay, I will correct this and but in any case, if you want to correct it yourself, just will show you where to find and what to do. There is an issue here in line 5. It should copy a preset red to a preset called 4.4501, which is this preset here. I don't know why it was broken, but it can be that the corrected version I already uploaded in at on desk should be correct, I think. So, and now the color picker should work. So red, green, blue. Let's do this red, green, blue one. And you see it's doing a nice rainbow. You could also go by a sine wave, or you can do it in blocks of 4. Yeah, this is what the color FX is doing. And another function, let's do it here. You have, okay, this bug here I will correct and upload the file again. I don't know if I manage it in the next some days because I'm on a show from tonight on again, so will be a little bit tricky today. But you have color bumps here also, and like you see with all the groupings, with all the functionality what you have, you always have the symmetrical groups. Okay, let's just assign the symmetrical groups here and take again only this kind of beams. Let's take here only beam 1 and here only beam 2, and they should be in white and here in green. So, and you can just go here and they are white and the others are green. And they also can do a strobe, like they do a white strobe now. Yeah, I will better leave the strobe away because it's not so nice to see in deepens. But you can do an swipe. So you can see you swipe in and you swipe out. The same would, by the way, work with the strobe. I will just use the close function to show it that it's working correct. Okay. I know my mistake, why it is not showing the strobe one. I will show you what the mistake was. I take my groups because I don't have shutter close and shutter open, but I can store it. Not a problem. Shutter open. and shutter close. Perfect. So, and if I go back again to my colors, open this, and I think we use this one and use close. It's working as it should. And as you see, it is also doing this in a delay way, so it's nice to work with. You have below here of Matrix. This is only working in my own color picker. It is used for each line, so you can use each line here to disable or enable the fade or delay option. So if you have here in this, let's activate the delay, and so you see you have a color delay here. Let's deactivate the fade. So you have a delay. And if you deactivate this delay for this line, was it like this? No, sorry. This delay only works, this off delay only works if there is a color wheel involved. So only the color wheel would not use this delay. I already changed it, so it is working all the time. Yep, but I use it really seldom. I don't know. It should be out again. But now let's go, I think, to the most interesting part, what everybody seems to be most interesting in, is this smash and burst functionality, what we have here. I will start at first with burst. And I have to prepare a little bit on the screen for this first. No, I leave it like it is. So we have a burst button here. This is the burst button, which is going burst all at the moment. There are several burst options. I use them on my MIDI fade devices. But I don't have them in my show file. Okay. In the show file, I deleted this view. Okay, I can do it a little bit different. Okay, let's go with swing 1 here. In the sequence master, you find a section called smash, free, and burst. And here you have this burst sequences, and I will assign, I want to assign something. So I will assign a burst left and a burst right, and they need to have 3 more. Then let's do let's have on left, right, outer, inner, not. Okay, let's assign. Oh, no, assign to the fader is a bad idea. Assign to a fader is a bad idea. You could assign them to a fader, which is not a problem, but the sequences are not designed for being used on a fader. And the handle should be temp, or what you can use is top, what is even the best option. That's why it's not good to assign it on a fader. Top and go plus. Okay, done. So if you go to the burst section, you select, like everywhere else, a symmetrical group. And let's go and shut off sequence to see it better. And you define the group, what you want to use. And let's say we only want the top groups, and they should do simply a dimmer on. And if I take the left one, only the left one or the right ones are working. You can change the color. They should come in white. Or you can say only this is coming. And you can define that the color should come with a delay time. So you see that you have then the swipe. And it is also working in this all group. The fade should be 0 and the delay. So now I did something, or better said, I forgot something to prepare, so I will do it just now. I will use and I will activate highlight to make it a little bit more easy. You have so-called relative position presets here. Let's take these groups, and to make it more easy, I just go and select only the tilt function. You choose as layer the relative layer and set it should go up. Perfect. Relative 10 up, I store as relative 10 up. You can also say relative 10 down. We are going 10 down relative. You can 5 means like it's half of it. You can only say they should go 20 down, so 20 up. It's a little bit too much, so I don't use it. Let's say we do really the 5 only, and we store it here. And -5. And important here with this relative positions is that it is really stored only the relative positions. And what this is doing, I will just switch the fixtures on again that you can see what the relative position is doing if I use the burst function, or later it's the same for smash and MSteps. You can choose relative tilt up 10, and I will take now the left one, and you see they are going 10 up. And now imagine if you are doing this. Let's switch the delay off here again. And now imagine if you're doing this fixture by fixture. So you can just, it's Control F6. Oh. Oh, no, it's not working on my keyboard. Oops. I hate my computer sometimes. Okay, I have only a keyboard here and it's not working like it should be. So, but you can imagine how it's looking like if you bump it. And you can activate for sure as well the second group and it's working with all this kind of groups what you choose for it. There is one thing you need to remember if you're using any of this function. So you can't click just bam, 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 bam. It doesn't work. Then the creation process of the groups will not work. You need to just think about, be slow. If you anyway have a problem and it's not working proper, here is a clear button. Everywhere you find a clear button. Just press this clear button, and what it is doing in these groups, you have invisible groups. And there you see main calculation groups, burst calculation groups, and so on. And I will show you in the burst calculation group what it is doing. It is just clearing this group functionality. And you have then to go the process again, and it's creating all these groups again. And all these groups are stored in this individual burst function. So if you see this burst group, you see that burst group 1 of 4 dim is stored, and this is this group 1 of 4 dim group. And the same is working then later for the smash groups and for the MSteps groups. The MSteps groups are a little bit different than the smash groups, but I will show this as well. Burst is such a button function, the same functionality like you are using with the burst function is a smash functionality. I will do the same settings what I have here. I select a symmetrical group, and I will show you directly here that the groups are at the moment empty, and I will activate now the beam group, only beam 1, and it's creating all these groups. And there you can see that it takes a little bit time to create these groups. And this time you need to wait. In the on PC, it's a little bit slower than on the console. On the console, it's running really fast, but still you need to be patient when doing it. And then you can choose as well, here's a dimmer, and choose a relative position +10. And it is showing now, it's a good question why it is showing it now, because I think somewhere is this sequence active. Why is this sequence active? This is a good question. Hold on. Did I store somewhere a dimmer value with it? No. I somewhere stored a wrong value with it. But somewhere must be something. No, wait. I forgot the sequence. So now it's, you have to choose one of the sequences here. And so this was the problem. You have to do a setup process prior the show, which means you have to prepare something here. So let's say I prepare all my 3 smashes. And let's say here I do this, and here I do it with all. And I do this relative down here, and here also relative up, and choose a sequence. Let's do here also 4 of 4, and here left and right. Okay, so, and the settings are the same as I used in this burst function. So I have this burst all, which moves all fixtures up. Or if you go by the other wing, you have had this 1 of 4. This 1 of 4 is this what I just selected as sequence here. And if you go to see the smash functions here, you see it's the sequence 1 of 4 or the sequence left and right. And if you go here, you can just go, and here you see what this really is doing. And you can do it here as well. But as you see now, it all stays on. You have the possibility to use single or a two-step mode. And if you choose the two-step mode, I will shut off the smashes again. It just activate and switch off again. Could you please switch off the microphone and background? Thank you. And this two-step is doing that. It is doing this cue once and switch it off again. Without the two-step function, it will stay on in the end. And another functionality what you have is the chase function. You can activate the chase, and if you then go the sequence, it does it automatically, and you can tap the speed of this burst of this smash function. It all time does it in the tab. You could also use a second group directly on the fly, and it's doing with the second group. Or you can deactivate one group. This is what the smash function is doing. You can as well change the color. You can change zoom, whatever you want. To tell you the truth, it makes no sense to use gobo or Prism in it. What makes sense is if you use the rotations. The rotations are really cute with it if you want to do a fast and slow rotation, bump, whatever. You could also change the sequence. We only have stored 2 or 4, 3 or 4, 4 or 4, and left and right at the moment. So if you do left and right, it will stop, of course, the smash function. So you have to activate it again. It also switch the chase mode off. So you can do it like this, and you see you have it like this. And the problem is if you do it too fast in a left and right position, the relative movements doesn't work so correct. That's why I choose this 4-block version. So you see you have the moving lights have the time to do all these moves. And here you have the left, right. Now let's jump over to the so-called MSteps. The MSteps is again a process which is over the burst and smash functions. As well, you choose at first a symmetrical group. Then you choose the fixtures, but here you have a different range of elements what you can choose. Let's take 3 to show the difference. You could choose off, which is the base. Prior the show, by the way, you should switch off every sequence what you need in this mode, off or on. Because during the show, it could cause you a lot of time to do it. So let's say for the MStep 1, just do it with this. For the MSteps 1, I want all my beams to do a dimmer chase in white color. And if you go here, you have a dimmer chase of all beams in white color. And I want my second to have all my beams left on the top and all my beams down on the right. Switch on in red. And the red should have, oh no, doesn't look good. And the dimmer should come with a delay from left to right. And as you see, it is working as well an in fade and an out, in delay and out delay. And on the third, I want that I have only my right on the top and my left on the bottom, doing a chase in white color. And they're doing a chase in white color. So you have this 4 MSteps which you can manipulate the way you want. And to do a show, I mostly use only the MSteps, the smash, and the burst. And if I'm lazy, I'm using the dimmer effects. So you can really do nearly the whole show just with this kind of buttons. And of course, it all depends on the beat what you tap here. So if you tap it faster, it's working even faster, and you can tap it slower and it's doing it slower. You could choose, if you don't want a chase, you could choose a PWM, for example, here, and then you have a PWM. I think this is the main part in the show file. You have here the individual dimmer, which are not assigned at the moment to any executor. You can find them in the sequence master dimmer. Here you find the individual sequences. You have a range of dimmer, temp, and MIDI 1 and MIDI 2. If you don't use a MIDI craft device or any other thing and you want to assign something onto faders or whatever, you can use it. It's just labeled as MIDI 1 and MIDI 2 or temp. It's just labeled as this. It is for me to know I should use only a temp functionality on this. And fix assigned are this dimmer 1 through dimmer 5, blind and strobe. You can find them here. Dimmer 1 to dimmer 5, strobe and blind. And on the fader, you have a flash function, and below you have the temp function of, but right now this is, yeah. Here is one thing what should be changed in the handles. it should not be a master, it should be empty, and you should use a command like load that it's working fine. I don't know why it is all time changing it. So you need to store the file, then it's working proper. But make sure that it's empty and there is no master on. It's the default setting. So, empty. Okay. And in this, I could check here. Yeah, and there should also be empty. Because then you have the encoder to jump between them. There is a difference between the fader functionality and the temp functionality. If you go to the fader functionality and it automatically switch to the other and execute it directly, the effect what you're searching here. If you do the same with the temp buttons, it is just a load. So you can't scroll and directly hold the button. It will not work. It's just loading this queue. That's why you have some buttons below here, fader. So, and if you go here and just change to another, it directly jumps there and do the same. You can is it working? Does it work now? Like, oh, no, it's not working. There was once a bug on PC that you could just remove or go down with the mouse and it keeps toggling it. But I thought I have activate a toggle on the MA. Let's do it like this. So. It even doesn't work here. Okay. I do it different than just for the show to show you what happened here. I can toggle it on. It's making it more easy. Why it doesn't work as toggle? Oh, okay. My bad. Here should be temp only. So, okay. So, and if you choose it out of this list, it will directly do this effect. Oh, no. Ah, no. It's also loading only. Okay. Yeah, correct. Yeah, there is a plugin behind. It is you define it load, go, or load or go, and it's just a load. But anyway, these buttons below here are for quick actions. But back to this individual sequences. Let's go to wing 1 and assign the sequence that you see that they are working as well. It's activated. Let's do the fader here. So, and toggle it off. So, and then you have here only the beams or the lower beams. So you have several kind of actions, and even here you could go and change the fader to, let's say, the swing, and it directly do the swing, so I can switch it off again. So here you have the swing. You can go to PWM fast, and it's working as it should be. Here you have the same functionality with a bounce function. Let's choose the top ones, and you have the bounce here, and it is just doing a bounce. The bounce is a mixture of a two-step cue list with a bounce phaser. If someone is interested in it, I could explain how this bounce is working. It's built with the universal preset. Oh, and by the way, again, a sneak preview to version 2.4. There is a bounce functionality in the phaser. So the bounce is just a short bounce function with a short input, then a little bit of output, and with 50% darkness and like 40% brightness. And it's just you need this, and in the cue list there is a shift between here is a bounce, and let's do normal set. You see it here in the recipes that you just have 0 through 380 and 180 to 0. And step 1 is 0 through 180. Step 2 is 180 to 0. This is how it inverted this, and this is how the bounce is working. Yeah, this is the bounce effect. You have 3 different bounce sequences you could use. 2 are assigned, bounce 1 and bounce 2. And you could assign something else. I will show you as well in bounce 1. Wait a second. Switch it off. So you have so-called left, right, or right, left bounce effects. I will assign them that you can see what it's doing. It's the same bounce effect like the other thing, but why is it not working? Give me a second. No, it should work. I found a bug, I think, in my file. Bounce 1, but it is cooked. Maybe it is just an issue that it is a temp, and so maybe now it's working. Yeah. So you see, it's just from left to right or from right to left. You can't use a flash. You have to use a temp button. And you have this as well for all 3 bounce groups you are using. What else can I show you here? You have the strobe functionality is only using this strobe line. You can't see it correct because of depends is a little bit slower in this now. Make sure you have your symmetrical groups. That's all what I can say, and which is the most important part. From show views, I think I explained everything. So, are there so far any questions about how to set up the file? Yeah, I do.